Hello, welcome back everybody. Today I thought I'd read to you from this book, and it's a really beautiful story about forgiveness. And this is actually a true story. The book is called Tarore and Her Book, and it's written by Cowley. Now the paintings were done by Mary Glover Bibby, and Mary is not what you'd call a modern day illustrator. She painted these paintings a long time ago. Now Joy Cowley is a very well-known New Zealand author. She writes many children's stories. Joy Cowley, one of New Zealand's best-loved writers, has written more than 40 picture books for children. She has won many New Zealand and international awards, including an OBE for services to children's literature, and was made a Distinguished Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit in 2005. She lives in Wellington. Now about the paintings. The paintings used in this book are by Mary Glover Bibby, and she lived from 1867 to 1937. She used them for teaching Tarore's story at Sunday school in Waipawa during the 1920s. Each painting is watercolour on newsprint and measures about 88 centimetres high by 65 centimetres wide. And this is a very precious story. A child dies, her book is stolen. How does this bring peace to the people of Aotearoa? This is the true story of Tarore and part of our history. Now, the Māori people are the indigenous people of New Zealand, also known as Aotearoa, which translated means the land of the long white cloud. And they're also known as tangata whenua. Tangata whenua basically meaning the people of the land. And there are a few other words in here that may be unfamiliar. Iwi is the tribe or the people, and kete is a flax bag or basket. Ngāti Hoa is a North Island iwi because there are various tribes throughout the country, so they each have their own identity. The tangata whenua, the local people or indigenous people of the land. Taonga is a treasure, something that is to be prized. So with that in mind, let's read this beautiful, beautiful story of Tarore and her book. There's Tarore there, and she was 12 years old. Tarore and her book. And the theme of this book can be summed up in Luke chapter 6 verse 37. Forgive and you will be forgiven. Kia ora tamarikima. That basically means hello children. Kia ora tamarikima. This is the story of Tarore, who brought peace to the iwi of Aotearoa. Tarore was Ngāti Haua of the Waikato. Waikato is a location. When she was 12, her father, Ngā Kuku, took her to the mission school run by Alfred and Charlotte Brown. There's Tarore. That would be Charlotte Brown. Tarore was such a good student that the Browns gave her the Gospel of Luke. Tarore wore this precious taonga in a kete around her neck. The book had words of peace for all people. In 1836, the mission school had to be moved to Tauranga. Ngā kuku and a mission worker took 21 children through the bush. And here you see a little kete, and it has the little Gospel of Luke. I wonder if that's the original, a photo of the original book that Tarore was given. A raiding party from Tiarawa found them near the Waiwere Falls. Ngā kuku, the worker, and 20 children escaped, but Tarore was asleep. A Tiarawa warrior killed Tarore and took the kete with the book from around her neck. Ngā kuku was overcome with sadness, but he remembered the words of peace, and he did not seek revenge. Now this was very unusual because there would have been an issue of mana and utu. Mana meaning respect and utu, revenge, and in order to regain his mana, he would ordinarily, ngā kuku would normally want to seek utu, an eye for an eye and a life for a life. But he remembered the words of peace, and he did not seek revenge. It's very sad. How can anything good come out of the death of a child? In Rotorua, the warrior who had killed Tarore read the book with its message of peace. Love your enemies, the book said. The warrior went to Ngā kuku and asked for forgiveness. That would have taken a lot of courage. Soon the words from the Gospel of Luke spread around the North Island. People gave up war to live the Christian way of peace. Tarore's little book came down to Otaki. The warrior chief Te Raparaha heard the message and built the Rangiatia Church. There it is. The Rangiatia Church. Look how beautifully made it is. Now, the patterns represent different things. I'm not sure about these particular patterns. They're quite lovely. Te Rauparaha's son, Katu, and nephew, Te Whiwhi, took the message of the book to the South Island. There the good news spread like seed on the wind. Today, the tangata whenua say the missionaries brought Christianity to this country, but it was our people who gave it to each other. All of this happened through Tarore and the little book that she wore close to her heart. At Waharoa, you can see the grave of that 12-year-old girl who changed the lives of her people. Peace be with you. What a beautiful story. A longer version of Tarore and her book, also by Joy Cowley and featuring more of Mary Glover Bibby's paintings, is available from bookshops or from the Bible Society New Zealand. And then we have the details of the Bible Society where you can order it. Beautiful. It's a lovely story, isn't it? Let's just have another look at some of these paintings. These paintings that were done over 100 years ago, probably. Around 100 years. On newsprint. It's quite an amazing medium. Newsprint. Somewhat absorbent. Tarore and her book. What a wonderful story of forgiveness. And how God was able to use such a tragic situation to bring peace to his people, to bring peace to the tangata whenua. There had been a lot of war, a lot of land wars amongst various iwi. But the wonderful thing is that the tangata whenua were very open to the gospel, and we do have other stories about interaction with the Māori people and missionaries. Sadly, as more people came to Aotearoa, they began to cheat the Māori out of their land, and eventually they took their language, their traditions, as happens in so many countries when the white people come. But I'm pleased to say that there has been a revival, and we are now learning to honour the Treaty of Waitangi, Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the treaty that was made between the Māori people and the Crown so long ago that even then cheated the Māori people. What a beautiful place that she's buried, with the cowslip flowers all around her, and a simple cross testifying her faith. I hope this story has blessed you. I know losing a child is the greatest grief that a parent can bear. And trying to understand God's will can be so difficult. Ngā kuku had such faith, such a simple faith in Jesus Christ, that he was able to forgive the warrior who had killed his daughter, and he was able to love his enemy. And as a result, the gospel was spread. That's a wonderful story. And a challenge to me as well, because could I forgive others in such a simple, godly way? I hope you've been blessed. Let me know if you would like to perhaps hear a little bit more. I do have other books in te reo, the Māori language, and we can perhaps look at the beautiful language of the people of this land. But for now, I pray that you go in peace, knowing that you are loved, that you are cherished by the one who created you. And I pray that you sleep well tonight. Good night. God bless.